We're gonna take a trip right now. Like we always do about this time.
This is a journey into sound.
Break it down.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And on this week's show, we'll celebrate with music from Asian musicians and composers connected to Indiana. Stay tuned for the next hour as we listen to pop, folk, classical, and electronic music featuring Indiana musicians from Vietnam, Myanmar, China, India, and more. We'll start with music from the Fort Wayne, Indiana-based musician, composer, and producer, Nitish Kulkarni. I spoke with Nitish in 2025, and we discussed his most recent album, Indigo. Indigo blends traditional Indian music with contemporary electronic production. Let's hear an excerpt from our conversation. At age 10, Nitish Kulkarni began studying the tabla. Within a few years, he was performing alongside seasoned Indian classical musicians. At the same time, he was playing clarinet in his high school marching band.
I started performing more or less full-time when I wasn't in school. Around the time I was 13, I was also quite active in symphonic band, marching band. I marched clarinet, actually. So I was kind of living this dual life, one foot in Western music, one foot in Indian music, and was quite lucky to have kind of the best of both worlds that way.
Your reputation as a tabla player came to the attention of the band director at your high school, and you were included as a tabla soloist in the marching band's drumline. Is that right?
You're making me feel famous, like you've dug up all this interesting information. Yeah, actually, that is quite true. I don't know whereabouts you found that, but in the fall season, I was on clarinet marching outside. And then in the spring semester, I was doing indoor drumline, but I would take my tabla in. And I regard that time in my life as a very formative period because I think the germ as an arranger kind of was sown there because when I showed up with these Indian classical drums and there were no tabla parts written. So every rehearsal, I was more or less just improvising.
Fast.
Give us a sense of your overall approach to making music, who you are as a composer, who you are as an arranger.
From a compositional perspective, I think over the years, I stopped thinking about Western music as Western and Indian music as Indian, and I really just started thinking of everything as just music. And so I guess to answer your question, how do I think about music? I mean, I think for me, my connection to my cultural roots is very important. Whether or not I'm trying to make an Indian album or Indian sounding album, any music that I write is going to be inherently Indian.
The title track of Indigo was inspired by Nitish's experience with synesthesia, a condition where one sense involuntarily triggers another.
My first album was called Synesthetic. It's because I have synesthesia, so I see colors when I listen to music, and different ragas come to me as different colors. And actually, the track that is named Indigo came from me asking the question, can you imagine a color and write a piece of music that will make you see that color? And that's what I did with Indigo. So it was kind of this reverse constructing the synesthetic experience.
Indigo is the first full-length album from Nitish Kulkarni to explicitly focus on his Indian heritage, but he told me it won't be his last.
Indigo is kind of my sonic experience, in a nutshell of what it's like to be an Indian growing up in America. And I think the next album is going to be a real tribute to my motherland. So it'll be, if anything, even more Indian, more exploration of Indian sounds. I'd also like to explore different Indian languages. So I've recorded predominantly in my mother tongue, which is Marathi, but India is such a unique place because it's a land of many languages. There's so much beauty in all these different regional languages that we have, and I'd like to collaborate with more artists that are not just from my part of India, but from all around North India, East India, South India, and have it be kind of a pan-Indian effort. I think would be it's kind of the dream project.
I wanted to end with a piece you put out last year, a single. This is a very ambitious collaboration with the Budapest Art Orchestra. I believe this is your arrangement of an old Marathi film song voiced by Asha Bhosle. Tell us about this piece. It's gotten a lot of attention online. I think it has over 200,000 views on YouTube. It's an amazing arrangement of this piece. Tell us about it.
Yeah, thank you. Aakash is the name of the song. Very popular Marathi film song, as you correctly alluded to, sung by Asha Bhosle. And I grew up with this song. It was one of many, many songs that I probably played in all sorts of concerts and that sort of thing growing up. And so I've always had an affinity for this song, primarily because I think from an arrangement perspective, it was way ahead of its time, many, many decades ahead of its time. In fact, if you go and listen to the original recording, you kind of get the sense that there's a string ensemble playing behind Ashaji's vocals. But owing to the music technology at the time, it's not, obviously recorded in high fidelity or anything like that. And so anytime I hear that piece, I just think like, wow, what a progressive piece. Like the background string arrangement is actually quite Western in nature. And at a time where, strings had started appearing in Bollywood music and other regional film music in India, but that was kind of a standout piece just in terms of its scope and how harmonically rich it is, and I'd always wondered, like, what would it sound like if it were recorded with today's recording technology? Like, it would be so amazing to hear this orchestra.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. On this week's show, we're celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month with an hour of music from Asian musicians and composers connected to Indiana. Up next, we'll hear music from the Grewal brothers. AR and MJR Grewal are brothers based in Greenwood, Indiana, and they've become prominent voices in the modern American Punjabi music scene. As singers, songwriters, and recording artists, they perform together and separately, and they also run their own label, Grewal Brothers Records, through which they produce and distribute music for themselves and other artists. Their releases have drawn millions and millions of views on YouTube, building a global audience for Punjabi music rooted right here in Indiana. This is the Grewal brothers with Jat Attitude and Glock.
ਹੋ ਜੱਟ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਸਿਰ ਨਾ ਨਜਾਇਜ਼ ਕਦੇ ਚੜਦੇ ਜਿਗਰੀ ਜਨੇ ਵੀ ਯਾਰੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈਆਂ ਖੜਦੇ ਅੜਦੀ ਮਢੀਰ ਫੇਰ ਪੁੱਛਾ ਚੱਕ ਭੱਜਦੀ 1 2 3 ਸਿੱਧੀ ਮੱਥੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਜਦੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਮ ਖਿਆਲ ਯਾਰ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੇ ਕੰਮ ਲੋਟ ਬੱਲਿਆ ਉਹ ਡਿੱਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੇਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਲੋਈ ਦੀ ਲਪੇਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜੇਬਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਆ ਨੋਟ ਬੱਲਿਆ ਉਹ ਡਿੱਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੇਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਲੋਈ ਦੀ ਲਪੇਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜੇਬਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਆ ਨੋਟ ਬੱਲਿਆ ਉਹ ਉਂਝ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਦਿਲ ਦੀ ਹੋਈ ਐ ਤਾਈਓ ਵੇਖ ਪੂਰਾ ਸੈੱਟ ਕਾਰੋਬਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਉਂਝ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਦਿਲ ਦੀ ਹੋਈ ਐ ਤਾਈਓ ਵੇਖ ਪੂਰਾ ਸੈੱਟ ਕਾਰੋਬਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਦਿਲ 'ਚ ਦੁਆਵਾਂ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਲੇ ਐਵੇਂ ਖਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਗਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਗਰੇਵਾਲ ਸੁਣ ਲੈ ਦੇਖ ਲੁਧਿਆਣੇ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੁਣ ਲੈ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਗਰੇਵਾਲ ਸੁਣ ਲੈ ਦੇਖ ਲੁਧਿਆਣੇ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੁਣ
That was Greenwood, Indiana's Grewal brothers with Glock. On this week's show, we're celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month with an hour of music from Asian musicians connected to Indiana. Mehran Fanoos is a violinist based in Bloomington, Indiana. He was born in Afghanistan shortly after the fall of the Taliban. Under Taliban rule, music was banned in his home country. But Mehran's father, Ahmad Fanoos, a well-known singer and television personality in Afghanistan, nurtured his son's musical talent. They now perform together as the Fanoos Ensemble, a family band that also features his brother Elham on piano. Earlier this year, the Fanoos Ensemble issued their debut recording, Echoes of Afghanistan. The album fuses Western classical music with traditional Afghan music. We'll hear a track from that album now. This is Take Notice of Me.
Stirge palarium sahar masha lidalu tasta Stirge palarium sahar masha lidalu tasta Fikr mein dirdi sargardana khabar makhla zaman.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. Up next, we'll hear music from the Indian producer and musician Aakash Ravikrishnan. Aakash attended Purdue University from 2012 to 2016, and he's a former member of the production team here at WFYI. Aakash has also collaborated with many Indianapolis musicians and bands, including Native Son. He was prominently featured on the band's 2022 album, Never Be King. In recent years, Aakash has been making waves in the Indian hip-hop and R&B scene. His 2019 album, Overseas, was praised by Rolling Stone India as a cutting-edge Indian hip-hop LP. His music has achieved significant commercial success, too. Aakash's productions have been streamed over 400 million times on Spotify. We'll listen to 3 tracks featuring Aakash now. Helpless with Arjun Kanungo. After that, we'll hear Kandivali featuring Bombay the Artist and Floqué by Desi Blood.
Desi blood, west side represent karte Bombay blood. Desi blood, Mumbai west coast, straight out of Bombay blood. Desi blood, west side represent karte Bombay blood. Desi blood, Mumbai west coast, straight out of Bombay. ये तो खाली ट्रेलर है, पिक्चर पूरी बाकी है. लाइफ अपनी सीएस से अब तक तो मजाक की है. लाइन मेरी चोरी करके खुद के नाम पे ट्रैक की है, पर ना है परवाह क्योंकि मेरी पूरी फैक्ट्री है. हुड वाले हार्ड है, तू छू कर तो देख. कुत्ते भी है वफादार, छू करके देख. जमीन से हूँ मैं निकला जैसे अंडरग्राउंड में. मिलना भी है मिट्टी में तो क्यों बनता फेक. मिट्टी से मुझे प्यार, ब्राउन रंग जैसे खाकी. सपोर्ट करती गैंग पर अकेला हूँ मैं काफी कॉपी करते लाइंस मेरे क्या बोलते बाकी पर गलती ना कर ब्रो चुकीला ना ही माफी खुद के दम पे लिखे गाने ढापा नहीं मैं किया फोन में रिकॉर्ड कभी छापा नहीं मैं धमकी आए रोज कभी कापा नहीं मैं लिरिक्स ऐसे बिना छुए दे दूं लाफा इन्हें मैं देसी ब्लड वेस्ट साइड रिप्रेजेंट करते बॉम्बे ब्लड देसी ब्लड मुंबई वेस्ट कोस्ट स्ट्रेट आउट ऑफ बॉम्बे ब्लड देसी ब्लड वेस्ट साइड रिप्रेजेंट करते बॉम्बे ब्लड देसी ब्लड मुंबई वेस्ट कोस्ट स्ट्रेट आउट ऑफ बॉम्बे यहाँ सब है तो असली बता कहाँ है मेरे लाइंस में है पंच तेरी फसली बता कहाँ है ओजी बोल के तो खुद बना नकली डिस करना रोजी तो फिर ओजी बता कहाँ है मीठी बातें की है हम तो भाई बना देते और ये अपना बोल के पराई बना देते शॉर्टी बनी लॉयल तो लुगाई बना देते और ये पूरा कुआं खोद के हम खाई बना देते जरूरत नहीं है तुझको ऐसे छेड़ने की और बात ना कर बेटा अब तू भिड़ने की गाने वाने सही है इंसान अच्छा बन कि सबको हो दिल से इच्छा तुझसे मिलने की कंफर्म तू है नकली मुझे पहले से था डाउट बन के तू क्लाउन बस चेस करे क्लाउड आऊं मैं मैदान में तो खुश होती क्राउड जब आया मेरा ओवर तू पहली बॉल पे आउट देसी ब्लड वेस्ट साइड रिप्रेजेंट करते बॉम्बे ब्लड देसी ब्लड मुंबई वेस्ट कोस्ट स्ट्रेट आउट ऑफ बॉम्बे ब्लड देसी ब्लड वेस्ट साइड रिप्रेजेंट करते बॉम्बे ब्लड देसी ब्लड मुंबई वेस्ट कोस्ट स्ट्रेट आउट ऑफ बॉम्बे
You already know this is FLOKAY on the mic Desi blood west side
We just heard 3 tracks from the Indian hip-hop producer and former WFYI intern, Aakash. Up next, we'll hear music from Marmar A, an important Burmese singer who lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana from 1998 until her death in 2024 at the age of 81. Indiana is home to one of the largest Burmese populations in the United States. According to a 2021 article published by the Indianapolis Star, roughly 35,000 Burmese people reside in Indiana. Marmar A was among the most prominent Burmese immigrants residing in Indiana. She began performing professionally in Myanmar as a child, and over the years, she recorded a wide variety of popular and classical music, developing a reputation as one of Myanmar's greatest performers of traditional music. Up next, we'll listen to a track from an album titled Pleasant Morning Songs. This is Marmar A with paying homage to the 5 benefactors. That was the Burmese vocalist Marmar A with paying homage to the 5 benefactors. She passed away in 2024 in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at the age of 81. Up next, we'll hear the latest release from the Chinese-American composer Chen Yihan. Chen grew up in central Indiana and studied composition at IU's Jacobs School of Music. He attracted notice for his musical abilities at an early age. In 2006, the Indianapolis Star published a cover story on Chen titled Sounds of Genius. He was just 11 years old at the time. We'll listen to the track After Dusk from his EP, Wither. I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. On this week's show, we're celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month with an hour of music from Asian musicians and composers connected to Indiana. Next, we'll hear music from the CBC Band. The CBC Band is a pioneering Vietnamese rock band formed in 1963 by siblings Dung Len, Bit Loan, and Tung Van in Saigon. Initially performing Western rock covers for American soldiers during the Vietnam War, the CBC Band gained prominence with electrifying renditions of music by artists like Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles. Their popularity led them to perform at South Vietnam's first International Rock Festival at the Saigon Zoo in 1971. As the war intensified, the band fled Vietnam, seeking asylum in various countries before arriving in Fort Wayne, Indiana in 1975. The CBC Band continued performing in the United States, eventually settling in Houston, Texas. But at least one member remained in Northeast Indiana, Da Ho, who gained notoriety for his paintings of rock and roll icons like Jimi Hendrix. We'll hear music from the CBC Band now. I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. We've been celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month with an hour of music from Asian musicians connected to Indiana. Up next, we'll hear music from the Indiana Brothers. Twin brothers Surag and Sarvag are in their early 20s, but they've been performing South Indian Carnatic music in central Indiana for years. The duo performs under the name the Indiana Brothers. I spoke with Surag and Sarvag last year.
My name is Sarvag Shriyanand. Yeah, and my name is Surag Shriyanand.
Indiana Brothers, thank you so much for being here. I'm a fan of your work. From what I know, you started studying music very early in life. You were performing at a very early age as well. Is that correct?
Initially, Sarvag was the one who decided to enroll in music lessons. And I wasn't originally singing, but I would always go and sit in his lessons, and I would always listen to him, and I gradually just picked up interest, and like one or 2 years after he started, I just started joining classes with him, and we've just been performing and honing our craft ever since then.
Why did you name the group the Indiana Brothers? What inspired the name?
I think that is kind of a tradition. Most of the high-level professional artists in India name either their duos, maybe themselves. If they're a solo performer, they name it after their city, their hometown. Yeah. So that's kind of the tradition we followed. So it's a good way to keep in line with the traditions.
Yeah, I love that you
let
did
everybody know where you're from.
Home
but away from home.
I think some of our listeners are probably very familiar with North Indian classical music, Hindustani music, artists like Ravi Shankar. But Carnatic music is very different. It has its own instrumentation, themes, language, poetry, etc. Can you share with us a little bit about the history of this music or what makes it unique and different from other forms of Indian music our listeners may know?
I think the early history of Carnatic music was purely devotional, based on like the principles of Hinduism and other stuff. And over the years, it's been grown to like include a lot of improvisation. That's what you see in most modern Carnatic music concerts. There's not one way to sing a certain scale, so we call it a raga. In Carnatic music, each raga is so unique and different from one another. So one raga might have seven notes, another one might have 5. If you get into the different ragas, there's different ways to improvise, manipulate the scales, bring out certain kind of aspects and tones. Not every concert is going to be the same. You're never going to listen to someone once and be like, you're going to expect them to sing the same thing again.
I'm curious where you see the place of Carnatic music in the future of Indiana.
Even when we were young to now, the kind of growth we've seen is amazing because there's so many teachers nowadays that are willing to take up the Carnatic music and impart it to other students.
I could definitely see Indiana and Indianapolis, Carmel, whatever, that whole community being as large as maybe a Chicago community, maybe a Detroit community. We've seen the growth, and it's huge. And I agree with Sarag. It's continued to grow a lot more.
Any final thoughts you want to share before we go?
Yeah, we just like to thank WFYI for this
Thank you so much for having us.
It was a great honor, and we were so excited to come here and share our experiences as well as our thoughts on Carnatic music and how we see it as it is today. And
thank you for recognizing Carnatic music, recognizing what we do, and a lot of people that are interested. We'd love to thank you for recognizing that.
Of course. We'll end this week's show with music from Logansport, Indiana's Dr. Seeta Gita. She was born in Andhra Pradesh, India, where she studied the veena, a traditional Indian string instrument. Dr. Seeta Gita was also a psychiatrist. She moved to Indiana in 1985 to work at the Logansport State Hospital. Dr. Seeta Gita remained in Indiana until her death in 2017. We'll end with a track she recorded live for All India Radio in 1977. That's all the time we have for this week. Thank you for tuning in for this celebration of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Cultural Manifesto is hosted and produced by me, Kyle Long. Our podcast is edited by Holly Summers. And our radio director at WFYI is Roxana Caldwell.